Hello, my friends. I have another review for you. This is Clarkesworld, the February 2023 issue. There were three standout stories in this one. The first one that I liked was Larva, Pupa Imago from Eric Schweizgebel. I don't know if that's correct pronunciation, but this is a very interesting short story about these caterpillar, moth, butterfly-like creatures that have sentience. And what's interesting about them is that they can share their being with the others in their colony. So they like connect their minds, and then they become two of the beings into one. So for example, if one's name was Abe and their name was Bell, if they could come together and form Abel because they have the memories and the thoughts of both. And what was great about this is that we have this one that we follow, and he looks up into the sky and then sees all the moths and butterflies, and he sees them finding their mates and connecting, and he's so longing for that time. And you see the progression of his life as he becomes a moth or a butterfly, and he has to fly to another tree to find a mate, and how when he does find a mate, their consciousness come together to form a new consciousness. And now there are like three different consciousness into this new being. And it was really interesting. I thought it was fabulous and very thought-provoking. Another one that I really liked was a novelette from R.P. Sand. It's called An Ode to Stardust. An Ode to Stardust. And this is about humans. They're on these different moons, different asteroids, and they work with these beings that help them mine these different places. And our main character is one of the people that work on one of these mining colonies, I guess. And they befriend one of these aliens, and they have a very sweet and loving friendship with each other. And I find that really interesting. Things start to go odd, though, and change when they try to take the alien from that colony or that moon or planet and take them to another planet or moon or asteroid so that they can visit with others like itself, and things start to go odd, and then revelations happened. And the last one was a novelette from Gu Shi. This is called Introduction to 2181 Overture, the second edition. And this was my favorite story of this issue of Clarkesworld. And this one is all about cryosleep. This story is written in a magazine article-like way, where it talks about the people that founded cryosleep and goes through the timeline of how the cryosleep thoughts and how people viewed cryosleep, how it changed and evolved, and what they used cryosleep for, and the advantages and then the disadvantages of it. And it was a very interesting study of what cryosleep would be used for in our world. And it's not necessarily just to go from one planet to another while being asleep. It's almost like skipping time. For example, you could go into cryosleep if you're, very ill, and hopefully in the future they'll have a cure for your illness. Or you could go into cryosleep, invest a bunch of money, and then go into cryosleep and later on become filthy rich because you invested a bunch of money 50 years ago, but in cryosleep it's only like a little bit of time to you. What was interesting about this was that they found out that in cryosleep, if you sleep a certain amount of time, then your body, once it wakes up, will start to break down and have cancer, which I found very fascinating. So you can go in cryosleep, but I think the maximum amount was only 150 years, and I thought that was really interesting. It was a fabulous story. I think that a lot of people would like this one. It really made me think, and it's one of my favorite of the year so far. So those are my thoughts on the February issue of Clarkesworld to 2023. Check it out online, subscribe, and see if maybe your local library has this. So anyways, Clarkesworld, 3 great stories. The rest of them were good too. One of the better issues so far this year.